Hello everybody. I've done this before and I didn't show certain things that I should have shown. What we're doing here, this truck, as you can see, is wrecked. It's rough, it's got rust, the frame's bent. It's pretty well junk, but it ran and drove. It's a 4.3 5-speed four-wheel drive. So I'm pulling the engine out of this truck to put down in another truck that is currently a 350 automatic. The transmission's bad in the other truck, and the engine smokes like an old steam locomotive. Runs fine, but it just smokes terribly bad. It would have to have rings and valve seals and probably be hot tanked or something, because the engine's full of rust and stop leak. So the plan is to put this engine and transmission down in the other truck, which I realize is backwards for what everybody else normally does. Everybody else normally takes the 4.3 out and puts in a 350. I'm going to show you what all you have to change one from a V8 to a V6, or from a V6 from a what have you, either one. You'd have to change the motor mount stands on the frame either way, either putting a V8 in or putting a V6 in, because that's different. You don't really have to change the wiring harness. You can just reroute a few wires, add on to a couple of them, and you can make the wiring harness work, because I did it. I could change this harness, but I don't really want to. So I'm going to show you how to do that, how to change the motor mount stands, or how I'm going to change the motor mount stands. And I hope you guys get something out of this video. We skipped ahead a little bit. This isn't a how-to video. This video is to kind of guide somebody a little bit if they're wanting to swap from a V6 to a V8, or from a V8 to a V6. It's just to kind of show you what you've got to look for, and what you got to try to change and fix and stuff like that. But these trucks had both engines, so there's nothing you've really got to engineer. You've just got to come up with the factory parts to put it back together, which, if you've got two trucks you're taking apart, that's pretty easy. The engine out, it's hanging over here. To change from a V8 to a V6, or from a V6 to a V8, you have to change the mounts on the frame. Those are V6 mounts. The V8 ones, that part is up here, and the brackets are made a little bit different. But on the two-wheel drive, it was just like this. Of course, we're swapping from a 5-speed, from an automatic to a 5-speed too, so the pedals on these trucks aren't like the older stuff, like the square bodies and stuff. The clutch assembly comes out separately from the brake assembly. You don't really have to change the brake assembly. You can just cut down the brake pedal. So I might show you changing that stuff in a separate video. We're going to make 3 different videos at least. In the final video, I'm going to show a little bit more of putting this V6 down in another truck. But none of this stuff's supposed to be a instructional video. It's just supposed to kind of show you what you need to do. So you got to change the mounts. You can do whatever you want to do when it comes to the harness, but you don't have to change the harness. You do need to move a few wires, but you don't have to change the harness. So you do have to change the computer, or find a PROM or whatever it's called chip for your computer to run a V6 or to run a V8. But the 350 and 305 and 43s all have the same fuel pump. I think it's like a 25 psi pump. The only fuel pump that is different when it comes to these throttle body trucks are big block trucks. They're 55 and 60 psi, and then throttle body's different. But the 454s are the only ones that are unique fuel pressure wise. The rest of them all pretty much have the same thing, and I think including the 4 cylinders and stuff. So you don't have to mess with fuel injection. The lines from the V6 will fit the V8 if you bend them a little bit, and vice versa. Hopefully that helps somebody. The next video on this little project will be checking that engine while we have it out. It was a good time to go ahead and just check the engine to make sure that it's actually okay. Even though we've driven this truck a lot, we want to check the bearings and stuff like that. Anyways, I'll see you again next time.